Pittsburgh is at North Carolina, and historically Pittsburgh has not played well in Chapel Hill. They're 0-6 all time. I don't know what that has to do with this week, but I know the fans will always go back to that just because they haven't seen it yet. And this North Carolina team has looked really good ever since they lost to Notre Dame.
They have. You know, Drake May, to me, I mean, he leads the country as far as total offense. I mean, through the air with his legs, he's a one-man show. He's tough to stop. I think for Pitt's defense and Pat Narduzzi, that's going to be the challenge, is how do you limit a guy that can create big throws, big plays down the field, but also hurt you with his legs. They've got an offense that's wide open. They can surprise you with some up-tempo. It's just tough to stop. On the flip side, by the way, Pitt's offense has struggled. Keaton Slovis has never really found a rhythm in this system. That being said, Israel Abanikanda, he does lead the ACC in rushing, and North Carolina's defense is, well, it's the worst in rushing. So maybe that's where this thing stays a little close. I'm going to go ahead and lay the 3.5 points, though, here with UNC. I just think it's going to be a hard time, or Pitt's going to have a hard time keeping up or keeping pace with Drake May in this offense.
I'm with you. I'm going to go ahead and lay the points with UNC. Drake May is an absolute stud. I got a bonus bet for you. Go ahead and take a flyer on him to win the Heisman Trophy at 30-1 before it gets a little tighter and you don't get as much return for your investment. I'm not predicting he's going to win, but I think it's worth the risk at that value because he's going to continue to put up these type of monster numbers in Phil Longo's offense. And their defense isn't very good, but he just keeps putting up numbers. He's second in the country with 24 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. He can create plays with his legs. You mentioned it, Brady. I talked to him last week, and he said he likes to compare himself to Josh Allen. And once you start watching the film, you can kind of see a little bit of shades of there, the improvisational skills, the ability to get outside the pocket. He's not quite as a physical specimen as Josh Allen, but I do think he means that much to this Carolina Tar Heel program. And they've got some opportunities. Again, that top 10 Wake team they have to play, that'll be an absolute shootout between those two games. If they're a one-loss ACC team and they play in the ACC championship game, I think he'll be sitting there in New York with a chance to win the award. So a little bonus bet for you. I'll take UNC, lay the 3.5, but I also like the odds you can get right now for Drake May to win the Heisman.
30-1. You like that too, Brady?
No.
They're going to have a chance.
I don't think he's got any shot at winning the Heisman.
If they win out, play Clemson in the ACC championship game and beat them, C.J. Stroud might have to lose a couple of games.
C.J. Stroud is probably going to win it, but the return is awful. I don't even like.
You got to look at Bama too, and Bryce Young. He's the defending Heisman Trophy winner. He'll have his opportunities to creep back up in that conversation. We talked about Blake Corum. Someone mentioned him earlier. I mean, he's a player you have to keep an eye on. If Michigan runs the table, they beat Ohio State, go to the Big Ten championship game, and a college football playoff, you'd have to think that it was on his back, and he'd be a part of that conversation.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.